Okay, good morning, everyone. So let's see, it's past 11. Maybe we'll have a few more people pop on here. Um, but what I thought we would do today is start off by doing some color mixing, and we're going to actually do rainbows. We're going to do some deconstructed rainbows. And I want to talk about saturated color versus neutral color, um, tints, and shades, and what all of those things mean. Because sometimes people get confused with that. So this might be a review for some of you, but it's always good to do a little review. So we'll start off just getting our palette ready, and I'm going to go ahead and write some colors that you should put down: your red, yellow, blue, white. If you have a pre-mixed orange, go ahead and put it down. Purple, burnt sienna. If you have black, which I know I don't usually use that in my classes, but if you do have black, go ahead and put some of that down. Burnt umber. And if I'm missing anything, let me know. If you have a pre-mixed green, a really yummy one to try is phthalo green, which is spelled PHTHALO green. It's a really dark green, but it's nice. So I'm going to just go ahead and get my palette set up here. I'm going to take a couple minutes to do that. Hey, Jen, did you get the first part of this? Is that we are going to do some color mixing, and we're going to do rainbows. We're going to work on all different kinds of rainbows to start with, because rainbows are pretty and it's a good color mixing review. And then we'll work on neutral colors and shades and tints and all that stuff. So I'm just getting my palette ready here. For now, I'm going to hold this up. For now, hi, Joanne. What I have here, I just went ahead and went live, and I didn't share a link with anyone. So I'm just wondering if it was confusing to find this today. If it was, let me know. We'll go back to the other way. Okay, so anyway, here's my palette. And I like to set my colors up pretty much going from light to dark. So I'm starting with a big blob of titanium white. I have two different yellows. This is cadmium yellow pale, and this is cadmium yellow medium. And then this is the pyrrole red, which it's kind of like cadmium red medium, but without the cadmium pigment, because cadmiums are kind of expensive and a little toxic. So, and then this is alizarin crimson, dark red. This is phthalo blue, which is a dark blue. I have some burnt umber on here. I believe this is my dioxazine purple, and then this is black. So yes, I went ahead and I put lamp black. That's the color I have. I went ahead and put that down, which might be a surprise for some of you that have taken my classes. I don't usually use black, but I want you to get a sense for it, if you have it. If you don't have it, we're going to mix our three darkest colors together to get black. But so for now, let's go ahead. Let's start by get your water out. We'll start with a nice wide flat brush. Hopefully you can see this canvas okay. I'm gonna do this. And so the rainbow is Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet. So let's start with some red. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use my alizarin crimson to start with and just work with it right out of the tube. We're going to just use this part of the exercise to again explore viscosity of paint, layering paint, mixing the paint on the paper. So I also have a little bit of my pyrrole red, this warmer red. I'm going to put some of that on there too, so you can see the difference between those two reds. So a saturated color, when a color is in its most saturated form, that refers to the intensity of the color and the brilliance of the color. So this pyrrole red right out of the tube is probably the most saturated it can get. As I add white to it, that turns it into more of a lighter value, and it ultimately it creates a tint. If it's all white with just a little bit of the red, if I start adding black to that, it turns it into a shade. So it lowers the intensity of that saturation. So for now, we're just going to play around with these colors in their most saturated form. I'm going to grab a new brush. So we have red, orange is next. I don't have a pre-mixed orange, so I'm going to go ahead and take some of my yellow, put it down on the paper, just yellow right out of the tube. This is the yellow cadmium medium. And I'm going to actually try to blend these colors on the page to get some sort of an orange. So then we have more yellow, G, green. I'm going to put some more yellow down, and then I'm going to just add a tiny bit of blue. You only need a really, really small amount of this phthalo blue. It's really strong, so just use a teeny tiny amount. And you see already how much that tints that yellow. So a lot of times when people are first beginning painting, they overuse their blue. So their paintings are just really dark, and there's a lot of blue in them, a lot of green in them. So the phthalo blue is really intense. You only need a tiny bit. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Jill. Awesome to see you guys. Miss you. All right. And so then blue would be our next color. And I'm going to jump over here to this part of the, I mean, that is a really intense blue right out of the tube right there. Indigo is our next color, which is kind of like a blue violet. I'm going to go ahead and use that dioxazine purple that I used last week and put that down. And then I'm going to try to combine these two here. And because these are so dark, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of white here. So we got some kind of a cool rainbow. You know, it can be whatever you want it to be. So we're going to keep layering on top of these colors. So right now, these are all the rainbow colors in their most intense saturated forms. If I was to go ahead and make a painting on here, this is a really intense background. Sometimes rainbows, I love them, but they can be like all these colors together to me can be kind of intense. So I like to have some neutral colors to calm these down. So neutral colors would be veering closer to browns. So if you take your three primary colors, yellow, red, and blue, and mix them together, you should get all different kinds of neutral greens, purples, grays. And you see how, like, for me, when I see that color there, I know it's kind of hard to see, it's just so soothing for me to have a neutral color kind of break through some of these like really intense saturated colors. That's just me. I think everyone has their own internalized palette that they like to work with. Um, and for me, if you're familiar with my paintings, you know I do tend to use a lot of bright colors, but I have a lot of grays and neutrals and browns in there too, um, to balance them out a little bit. So try mixing up some neutral colors now, just to balance out or just to maybe paint on top of some of these intense colors that you made, just to see how those play against each other. How's everyone doing? Is this total review for you? It's always good to review. I want to go ahead and do like a pastel rainbow because people have a really hard time painting highlights and light tones, I've noticed. So let's try to do our rainbow again, but just doing tints of those colors. So we will do pink instead of our dark red. I mean, I read the white was from the page was coming through here, but let's try to do a pastel rainbow. So pink, we'll use some white and mix it into our yellow. Make a nice light yellow. And then somewhere in there, we'll want a pastel orange. These are like Easter colors. Not sure if this is coming through. Hey, Liz. Okay, and then we'll do a pastel green. So mix a teeny bit of blue into your yellow. Add some white. See, even that's a little dark. I want to go lighter than that. And then next we'll do a pastel blue. So just a tiny bit of blue in our white paint. And then a pastel indigo. So just grab a touch of purple. And I can try to show this on here too. I'm over here, the purple. And then we'll go violet. I'm going to use my dioxazine purple and actually mix a little of alizarin crimson into it. That gives you a little more of a a bright purple. But of course, then now I want to tone it down or tint it, so I'm going to add some white to it. So this is like our pastel rainbow. I really like those colors. I think they're really pretty. If you did get black, now try doing a rainbow, a shade of shaded rainbow, I guess it would be. So you're going to mix a touch of black into your colors. The secret here, I haven't worked with black in a while, just take a teeny tiny bit of black to start with, because again, it will really overtake your colors. So just to hold this up for y'all. That is red with a little bit of black in it. I'm going to try to mix a little yellow in there now to try to get more of an orange. But it has black in it, so it's just slightly toned down. It's hard to see. Need more yellow. It's a pretty cool color. I'm going to actually go ahead and mix a little white in there too. I want to see what that looks like. I'm going to mix a green up, so yellow with a touch of blue. So this is my green normally. I'm going to go ahead and mix a touch of black into it so you can see the difference. And again, I'm using lamp black. So hopefully you see the difference there. It's more like an olive green. For fun, I'm going to add some white to that just to see what I get. Green, blue. So I'm going to mix up a light blue. And add a touch of black to it. So that makes it a touch more gray. And then purple. Adding a tiny bit of black to it. Oops, I didn't show the purple first. But there we go. So you have black. When you add black to your colors, it turns them into, it neutralizes them a little bit. They're not as bright when you add black to them. But the secret is to be sparing with it and try not to overdo it with the black, because a lot of times people will default to black to darken their colors, and then everything is too gray. So you want to keep a nice balance. I have some burnt umber. If you do have your burnt umber, phthalo blue, and alizarin crimson, try mixing the three of those colors together to create a dark value also. So this is what I get when I do that. And now I'm going to mix some white into it. So this is actually veering on purple over here. I really like the Pastel Rainbow a lot. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a background for myself, or something that I'm going to work on top of. So I think I had said we had talked about painting an animal today, and there was a special request for a unicorn. So I actually have a cute picture of a horse, and I'm going to add a horn to it. But if you guys want to paint along with that, I'm going to share the link to the image. Um, but maybe if you can copy that and paste it, you can work from that. I don't know. Oh, it says error. Try again. Let's try it one more time. There. So there's a link. Hopefully you can see that. And you can use that for reference. Or, if you want to paint any other animal, please do it. But let's paint an animal that brings us joy. We need that today. So at least I do. So that's what I'm going to do. But for now, what I'm going to do, I don't want to paint my animal red on here because this is too intense for me. So I'm going to tone this back a little bit. So I'm going to use some neutral colors. I'm going to use some tints, and just lighten this background up a little bit for myself. But I'm going to keep the rainbow theme going. It's just going to be more like a deconstructed rainbow at this point. Um, but yeah. You could even try doing a gray rainbow. I think that would be really fascinating. I'm going to try some neutrals here. Do you remember how I talked last time about the blobette? I think that's going to be my thing. Like, it's just, that's going to be my word. So, again, I like to use, I call the white paint that gets all the little things in it, the little dots of color in it. I call that my blobette. And I like to mix it all together and use that also to create some fun neutral tones. So I'm going to bring back some red, some pink. I'm going to try something real daring here. Let's go for an actual rainbow. It's just going to be kind of a weird rainbow. Yellow. So since the paint is wet underneath, it's kind of mixing in to my paint. And so now I'm going to go back over it with more paint so we can see that color a little better. Green. do some, gosh, I haven't done this in a long time. Rainbow. I'm gonna let this dry so I can paint on top of it. How's everyone doing? Did I lose people? Are y'all like doing your own thing? That's awesome if you are. Um, yeah. I'm gonna change my water. I'm changing my water, cleaning off my brushes, cleaning my palette, and we will switch into painting an animal. Now, if this hasn't dried enough by the time I'm done cleaning stuff up, I might just move into working on a different canvas. But we'll see. I'll be right back. Okay. Let's see what time it is. Oh, my kitty cat's in here. All right, I'm gonna see what it's like to paint on top of this. It might be a little too wet, but I'm just gonna try it out. I'm actually gonna start with some burnt sienna. Oh, gosh, Lisa, that puppy is so cute. You should make a painting of the puppy. It's so adorable. All right, so we'll see how this goes. I haven't painted a horse in a while. So when I do a figure like this, I usually try to very lightly find it to get like the all kinds of little things here. Give it some spots. I'm using some of my phthalo green because I want to get like a nice opaque kind of a minty green. And phthalo green's really nice. I'm going to use that. A bad thing. Okay, this is as far as I'm going to get with this. It looks like a lot of people have left. I don't know if the stream's even working, but here is my unicorn. I'll probably work more on it. But anyway, I'll be back on Monday, 11 o'clock. So we're going to paint landscape on Monday. I'm going to try to make it so I can paint outside. So do like some kind of plein air thing. But anyway, thanks for hanging in there and have a really good weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye.